Recording in progress. Let me just fix this and make sure we are live on the other platform. Let's make it happen. I'm sipping some coconut water. Mm, Man, honestly, coconut water for me is a juice from God. Oh, I love this so much. I probably drink one of those every couple of days. So delicious. How you guys doing? Let's see anybody who's here. Let's see who's here. Let's see who's here. Come on, everybody. Come on, everybody. Hello, beautiful Wendy. My dog's coming here because, she loves to be a part of this. So let's get this party started because we have a lot of room to cover today. Uh, First of all, our beautiful guest today could not join us, Mrs. Cristobal. She could not come. She's, I know you guys know if you're here from Florida, she's the first lady of Miami Hurricanes, and they are on tour and they're killing it. I'm not the football expert, but no, they're killing it in their games and their championships. They just became champions and they're doing more games tonight. So she's in Utah. She's not going to be able to join us and participate. But I come here and I have certain things that I want to discuss with you guys. And it's going to be very, very special points because I figured, what could I talk to my beautiful people that they don't already know? What could I say? Could I tell how do I work and what we're going to do? Hey, Jessica. But I decided to say something else because it's really important, and that's something that happens to all of us. I've been getting more and more conversations with women over 40, and and you girls have been here. Wendy has been here every day. You see the constant, because we think that something first, it only happens to other women. If you had a fit life up to your 30s or up to your like mid 30s, you think you're kind of immune to that. And I'm just as guilty as that. I thought slowing down would never happen to me. I thought painful joints or muscles or lack of energy would never happen to me. And yet it is happening little by little. But as we talked the other day, is the game is trying to get ahead of problems, not put a band-aid on things when it happens, but prepare things so you don't have to ever get a band-aid. So you don't ever have to fight whatever is happening with you. So whatever, things come because they will come. We're not here trying to be lunatics and say that no, we're not going to age. I'm going to be young forever. Well, yes, that's the goal, but truth is, painful things will happen. You're going to lose energy. Skin is not going to be great all the time. And you just need to address those things and you need to be realistic and be prepared and understand that if we are prepared, like Kelly said the other day, if we are prepared and we dial in nutrition, training, your habits, your rest, everything's gonna be okay. There's not a thing you need to worry. We're just gonna age gracefully. And my goal, and I want to instill that in all of you listening, is that we become actually better. I have two of my beautiful clients here that are here to prove that it is possible to look better with age and not just let gravity do its work. That's the thing me and Kelly came up with. There's only two types of women over 40. Ones that are letting gravity win early, and the ones that are gonna get hotter every year. And I don't know about y'all, I don't know about you, but I know about who's watching this, that I'm on the second group. So I decided to come here and talk about the three things that most women are doing wrong that we need to change right now because it's an old mindset. And that's exactly why you keep having to repeat the same beginning over and over again because you never correct these three things that we're going to talk about. First thing is most women, and that's just something that we do overall in life, but that we keep doing it after 40 and it gets so much worse because our bodies change is we do too much cardio. We do too much cardio and that kills our muscles. That kills our metabolism. That kills all the things we're trying to build in order to age gracefully, stronger, healthier, and more beautiful. But that's the thing, and you probably heard that, I'm not telling you anything new. You've heard that. But what people don't tell you is, should I not supposed to do any cardio? Hot old ladies rock. Yes, Wendy. Yes. Mwah, mm. Should we not supposed to do any cardio? That's not what I'm saying. There is cardio that can be done. There is cardio that needs to be done. And there's cardio that needs to be stopped. So what I'm going to tell you is, most people do cardio on a fasted way. Most people do cardio excessively. Most people do cardio without having enough protein. Most people do cardio in detriment to strength training. And those are the four things that most women are doing wrong. And that, excuse me, you see them and they might lose a little bit of weight. It might make them feel better. Today, actually, I was doing my cardio, and this is a very busy week for me, not only because I have most of my clients coming back from vacation, so Miami is on fire, but I'm doing my biggest launch, and there's so much happening in the back end of this that you don't see, that I'm like, barely had any time to work out this week. Today I did my cardio for 40 minutes on the Stairmaster, sweated everything out. And I sent a picture to, I have this group of my online clients that, we share things and tips and all of that. And I told them this was therapy. And I did a little bit of lifting before, but, and some people might see that and might think, well, but you're prioritizing cardio from strength training. But that's the difference. I have plenty of muscle to spare. I've eaten enough protein. I lifted on Monday and I lifted after my cardio. So I'm not prioritizing cardio. I always prioritize strength training. Cardio is a complement. Cardio comes as a tool for you to get on a calorie deficit. Cardio comes as a depletion of your muscle glycogen with strength training. What does that mean? It means that if you eat too many carbs and you figure out a fast way of ditching them and getting them out of your system, you lift weights and then you do cardio and then they're out of your system. Cardio comes as, yes, a therapy, as something that you just mindlessly do and you sweat in order for you to get your self-control. And like I said today, 9 lives were spared today after I finished my cardio. That's what you should use cardio for. Cardio is not a way for you to lose weight. What you're going to do with cardio is you're going to tip the scale more towards a calorie deficit. And what I mean by that is, that's other thing that's you're going to learn inside Stronger Than 40. What is a calorie deficit? What's the scale? Like, la, la, la. All those fancy words that you don't understand now, you will once you get into the system. But the thing is, when you have a cardio activity, like say I did my Stairmaster for 40 minutes, I burn around 320 calories. That doesn't mean that gives me an allowance to go and eat more. What cardio is doing, and that cardio is probably also not burning body fat, what that cardio is doing is making my scale tilt more towards a calorie deficit. So, because I'm in a calorie deficit throughout the day, I can teach my body how to burn more body fat. And once again, what most women are doing wrong, they're just relying on cardio and they think that's going to make them lose weight. But if they're doing cardio, they're not eating enough protein and they're not making sure their muscles are contracting enough, that's not going to work. That's the number one thing that you're going to learn on Stronger Than 40. I'm going to advise you and guide you. Okay, you want to do cardio? Cardio is necessary. I don't think women should stop doing cardio. But how are we going to do cardio? First of all, you're going to feed first. You're going to eat something. Even if you do first thing in the morning, what most of my clients by now are started doing is starting to see huge benefits is we eat protein first. First thing in the morning, wake up, what you're going to do, you're going to fast? No. Wendy the other day, she posted a picture, I think it was on Facebook, right, my love? You had a matcha, a protein coffee, a collagen, all those things. And I was so proud. I was like, yes, wake up, protein first. Why we do that? Because we need to tell our body that muscle matters. We need the muscles. We need that activation for our brain to understand that we're not gonna keep burning body fat now. We're gonna build some muscle. Ah, give me 1 second. Come back, come back, come back, come back. I locked the door. But we're gonna have the trigger and tell live things. Don't you love live TV? And we're gonna teach our brains like, hey, muscle matters. Spare my muscles. Burn the body fat. I'm not here trying to starve my body. I'm here trying to build my muscle and make sure that fat cells are being used for this. Second thing that we're going to learn when we do cardio is intensity. There's one intensity that most women prefer when they're doing cardio, and that is the worst intensity, which is medium to high intensity, which is like if you think of Barry's boot camp, or F45 classes, that's a medium to high intensity. And that is going to burn more muscle than anything. That's precisely what most women should not be doing, and yet they do. Wendy's laughing at me. But because there's, every time you do a certain intensity, your body uses that energy to use certain substrates, certain fuel types to fuel that system. If you're doing low intensity, which is like a leisure walk, maybe a little bit of a more fast-paced walk, you're using most fat cells. If you're doing a super high intensity cardio, you're also using fat cells. Anything in between, you're using your muscles. And that's what we don't want. So, first of all, when you do cardio inside Stronger Than 40, you're going to learn how to feed first, correct intensity, which means it's either, I don't want to say boring, but a slower pace cardio, or I like going crazy at it, super intense, high intensity interval training. There's no in between. You can allow yourself once a week, maybe, for peace of mind purposes. You can go for a longer run. You can go for a bike ride. You can go for a class, because once a week, that's not going to hurt you. But if that's all you do is that, just going to do a light jog on the beach. No, no, that's going to eat your butt. Karen, can I say that? You're going to lose your butt. We don't want to lose our butts. We want good muscles. And third thing, we're also going to understand the timing of cardio, because it does matter. It's not the most important thing, but it does matter. What we're going to do is understand that cardio preferably must be done after weights, or it must be done at a different time of the weight. Good? We got all that. Total epiphany. Yes, Wendy. Second thing we're going to talk about that most women do wrong, and that we're going to learn how to do differently in Stronger Than 4, is most women, what they do when they need to lose some weight, what they do, they cut calories too low, way too low. And that usually comes up, oh, I'm just going to skip breakfast. I'm going to skip lunch, or I'm going to skip dinner. And therefore you have a cut in calories. And what I can tell you is that, yes, you're going to lose weight if you do that. You're going to get results fast. But what happens after? You know it. You know it because you've been there. I've been there. We've all been there. As soon as you cut calories too low, Wendy got it, you lose muscle. Second thing that happens is you can't sustain that for the long run. You're going to have to keep eating normal again. And what's going to happen? You're going to gain all the weight back, because that's a non-sustainable habit. You're just going on the easy route, which is cutting calories too short, too strong, too fast. You're going to get the results. You're going to lose maybe 4 pounds, maybe 5 pounds. And then once you're like, oh, I made it and I'm going back to eating normal, then you're going to gain like 6 pounds, 7 pounds. We've been there so many times. We've all been there. Raise your hands. Raise your hands. Yes. So what's the secret, Amanda? It's like, if I have to lose muscle, if I have to lose um, body weight fast, what do I do? And let me tell you, if some of you here, you were on my 6-pack challenge last year in December, which was a crazy intense challenge. And it was exactly that. We did super high intense uh, calories cut, calorie cut. And it works. You lose a little bit of weight. You got that. But then I told everybody that happens and that is effective, but it comes at a price. I'll get to you in a second, okay, Jessica? It comes at a price. But you're gonna gain some weight after Christmas, but that's okay as long as you understand that. What most women don't understand is that whenever you cut calories too low, you need to have a strategy to get back to normal life. You can't just cut calories and expect to eat normal again, and then everything you're gonna still gonna keep the weight off of you. We'll get back to it in a second. Jessica has a question. Is the Stairmaster cardio or more strategy to mold and perk up the booty? What is the minimum time on the Stairmaster for results? Stairmaster is cardio, my love. I'll tell you that. It can be a strategy to mold and perk up the booty if you skip steps. Now, if you skip one step and you do every other step, the angle with which you step on it is gonna require much more muscle activity, but you have to do also at a lower intensity. So if you want a cardio, do regular steps. You can also skip steps, but it depends on intensity and speed that you go. Is going to just burn more calories. Of course, if I'm moving, even if I'm walking on the treadmill, there is muscle contraction. So even if I'm walking on an incline on the treadmill, you get more booty activation. Excuse me. Than if you're just walking flat. So not to say that every cardio there is a muscle contraction effect to it. Even if you're doing a bike, if you're doing a rowing machine, there's also a muscle activation to it. But if you want to use the Stairmaster more as a strategy to, I love how you said perk up the booty. I'm so gonna steal that from you. Do that. Slow down the levels, slow down the speed and do every other step and lean more forward to get more booty activation. And you also ask what is the minimum time on the Stairmaster for results? There is there is no such thing, my love, as a minimum time for results. Um, if you're talking about results for perk up booty purposes, um, I would say it's really going to depend more on your level of trainability and resistance. 'Cause for some people could be 5 minutes, for some people could be 50. So it really depends on how much you're used to that. I would say keep doing it until you can't do anymore, until you feel like your muscles are fatigued. Maybe rest for a minute, go at it again. That could be something as like a 3 minute sprint or a 5 minute thing or a 10 minute thing. I'm okay, Mo. Thank you. You want to come say hi? I think he wants to come say hi. I think he wants to come say hi.
Hello, everybody.
He doesn't own a shirt. I love Ediamo. You can have your shirt off anytime. Please. Please. Um did I answer your question, Jessica? So that would be it. If you for perky if for perky purposes, do like maybe start with 3 to 5 minutes, take a minute break, do like 3 to 5 times. You're gonna feel that would be should be enough for the little. But if it's for cardio, then it really depends on how many calories you're looking to burn. I don't even look at time, I look at calories. For me, because if I'm unconditioned, 30 minutes of Stairmaster for me is probably gonna burn 250 calories. If I'm very conditioned, those same 30 minutes of Stairmaster is gonna burn 200 calories. So it really matters how many calories you're looking to burn for that day on that cardio. I would say anywhere from 30 to 50 minutes a day of cardio. That should be good for most days. Wendy's asking treadmill, Stairmaster, elliptical preference. I'm a Stairmaster queen. I think the Stairmaster is the best for a few reasons. Uh, for me personally, it's always very challenging. I've noticed, and I've done all of them a lot. If I do the treadmill repeatedly, I notice that my resistance to that, I get very adapted very easy. So I could easily go from the same 30 minutes of treadmill exercise or an incline walk, burning, let's say, I'm just going to use random numbers here, burning 300 calories at 30 minutes to by the end of 2 weeks, I'm going to be burning 200 to 150 calories. And that's nothing wrong. It's just my body gets very adapted easier to that. So the movement, I think it's just more natural movement of walk that your body's used to it. You could, change. You could change incline. You could change the speed. But to my experience is for me to have the same amount of calories burned for the same amount of time after I'm trained, I'll have to put an incline at like maybe a 14% incline and maybe a speed almost of 4 miles per hour, which is very uncomfortable. So for me, it didn't work that much. Elliptical is good, it's very good. I like it because you're moving your whole body, you're moving your arms and moving your legs, and there's certain dynamics to it that it's fun actually. And I think cardio that for those purposes, it kind of needs to be entertaining and fun because it sucks, if you're sitting in there for 30 to 40 minutes doing the same thing. I don't know, I get bored very easily. So I like to have some variation. So elliptical is good. You just need to know how to use it, know how to play with the levels and intensities and in a way that is not gonna hurt. I've seen a lot of women use it in a way that they're putting extra load on their knees, like hyperextending their knees. So that's one thing. But you can actually have also a good burn in calories. Stairmaster, I love it. I don't know why. I think it's very challenging for me, so I feel like I get more bang for my buck. The same 40 minutes that I spend on the Stairmaster, I burn so many more calories than I would on an elliptical or on a treadmill. So I think that's why I like it more. But also the easier question for that, the easier answer, I'm sorry, is just rotate. You don't have to get just attached to one. Actually, the rotation will probably be the best strategy because you're going to keep challenging your body. And even to say on the same day, if you have a 30-minute cardio, you could do 10 minutes treadmill, 10 minutes stairmaster, 10 minutes elliptical. That also works perfectly. You don't have to do the same 30, 40 minutes nonstop. You can do rotation. So that would be something, that's also even more manageable mentally to put up with the cardio load that we have to do. I'm loving the questions, ladies. Keep them coming. I love answering questions. This could be just Q&A for all that I care. Keep them coming. Um, so a little bit back to the calories is what we're going to do differently in Stronger Than 40 that I'm going to teach you girls is how to, first of all, be aware of what you have coming in your life. Let's say if you have a trip coming on in a month, I'm not going to wait a week before or 2 weeks before to cut my calories. I'm going to prepare my body, slowly start cutting calories so your body is not fighting back, so your body is not getting into a defense mode. Because if you cut calories too fast, your brain thinks, oh my gosh, emergency, turn on the lights. And it shuts down everything that's not necessary. And guess what's not necessary in your body for us to survive? Fat loss. So your body shuts down fat loss. You might lose a little bit, but not too much. And then once you start eating back again, we usually go back to your normal life or you go on the vacation, go on that all-inclusive cruise or resort. What's going to happen? You're going to gain double the weight. That's not what we want. We're going to do differently. Plan. We're going to prioritize protein even on a calorie deficit. What most women do when they cut calories is, I'm going to cut calories and they cut all the protein and they eat all the carbs. That's going to make you lose weight, but that's also going to make you look flabby. We don't want that. We want to lose the weight, but we want to look toned and we want to make sure like our muscles are getting the proper amount of amino acids that we need. Also in Stronger Than 40, you're going to learn about all those things. You're going to understand, and I'm sorry, girls, you can, you know, delegate, you can hire the best trainers, the best coaches, the best everything to take care of your life and your health, but you need to be in charge. You need to understand basic needs. What is protein, what's carbs, what's fat, what's alcohol, what's fiber, what's sugar. There's so many people who like to this day they think, oh, beans it's protein, quinoa is protein. No, don't let the food industry like fool you. Yes, beans has protein. It's different than being a protein. Beans has protein, but it's mostly carbs. Quinoa has protein, but it's mostly carbs. Spinach has protein, but it's still mostly carbs. It's full of fiber, but it has a little bit of more protein. But it's whatever people keep repeating it and trying to sell you things. Oh, I'm gonna have this bowl of beans and quinoa and cheese, and like I'm being so healthy. No, you're not. No, you're not. And also understanding the difference between being healthy and being, what can I say, being fat loss appropriate. You can be healthy. You can eat a bowl of avocados. Yes, that's super healthy. But where's the protein? Like, and avocados is super caloric. So is that really helping you burn fat? Most likely not. So that's what we're doing differently in a Stronger Than 40. Cheers to that. Ah, third topic, and last but not least, What most women do wrong that you're gonna do right in Stronger Than 40 is most women, especially us business women, business owners, badass women who are, how is it that they say here, get in your coin, get in your bag? We don't understand the power of rest and recovery and the power that it has over our hormones. And I'm just as guilty as you, 'cause I'm here working and I've been working nonstop since the year started. I was working during Christmas. I took a tiny break, but we work until our bodies can't handle anymore and then we break down. We're not gonna let that happen anymore. You can get away with those things up until your mid 30s. We shouldn't, but we can. But it gets to a certain point in life that you need to rest before you have to rest. Does that make myself clear? You need to rest before you have to rest. Once you get also on the groove of doing all the right things, you're going to understand that a rest and recovery is part of the training. I struggled with that for so many years. I still do, to be honest, be completely transparent with you girls. I don't take rest lightly. Like for me, it's the hardest thing to rest. I'm doing a little bit better now that I have my boo because I can find something to do when I'm resting. But it's hard because I just want to keep doing and doing and doing. Go to the gym and do this, but it's not how our bodies work anymore. And us that were born in the 80s and below, we have that mindset of like, you can rest because that you're being lazy. No, that's a lie. We're not being lazy. Rest is a part even of the creative process. If you're a business owner and you work with creativity and you have to lead people and you have to, most of us work with content today and you have to produce things or you have to see people, you have to all those things. This is a part of production. This is a part of keeping your hormones in balance. This is a part of understanding that taking one step back is going to allow you to take 1,000 steps forward. And that's the thing that, most women, when they're just on that journey of trying to, take a hold of how they look or how they feel, they think just adding more stuff to their list is going to help them. When sometimes in our reality, we need to subtract. I've had so many of my clients, even Kelly was here today. Tomorrow we're going to talk to Melissa. And note, she also was a great example of like how I made her eat more and work out less. And she built a ton of muscle. She built like 11 pounds of muscle in 3 months, I think, or 30 days. I need to go back on the data. But she built like 11 pounds of muscle as I think she's 42 or 43. Insane, insane, like unheard of. I told her she needs to be studied by NASA because I've never seen it happen like that. But she did it. Why? Because first, we took great care of her rest. She was on this high pile of cortisol, so we made her work out less, eat more, and really take her rest seriously. And there you go. Her body came from a state of like constant like breakdown and yeah, fight or flight until like rest and repair. And that's what we're gonna, the difference between having your sympathetic system activated. Think of sympathetic system is fight or flight. It's like, oh, we're gonna win, we're gonna break, we're gonna fight, we're gonna conquer. That's it, which is necessary for things to happen. But really important is this other side, the parasympathetic system, parasympathetic nervous system, which is the things that your body does without you having to think about, which is recovery, digestion, breathing. You don't need to think about breathing. Your air, your lungs purify the air without you having to think about it, right? You don't need to think about breaking food in your digestive system. It just happens. You don't need to think about your blood pumping, your heart pumping your blood all the way through your body, right? It just happens. That's the parasympathetic system. When you're able to relax and breathe and tell your body to like, you can just chill now. Let me do the work. Let me do the rest of the work. Let me do the recovery process. Let me do the chill. That's the beauty of it. That's when you allow your body to, recover your cells and start muscle protein synthesis, which is building the muscles. That's when you allow your even your gut microbiome to restore and to be, renewed, and your skin to regenerate and your hair to grow and all those beautiful things to happen. And that's where most people get it wrong. Most women over 40 get it wrong because they think if I do more, I'm going to achieve more. But that's not always true. And you know that for your business, why don't you know that for your body? Well, now you do because you're part of Stronger Than 40. That was a lot. That was a lot in quick 31 minutes, man. I always think I can talk so much, but time flies when you're having fun. Ladies, if you have any more questions, please do let me know. We're excited on this journey. We're halfway through. I just want to do this every week, even though it's a lot of work. But I'm enjoying bringing all my clients here. Maybe we're going to do this more often because it's been really fun to get all their insights and all their knowledge bombs and everything. Tomorrow we have Melissa Heno. Don't lose. She's a amazing, amazing business coach as well. I went to her event here in Miami and I was on stage with her. We did some interviews, we did some interactions. We're going to do some more stuff together this year. She's a rock star and she is on fire with her body. She got basically a six pack over Christmas. That's how much effort she's putting. And that's based out of rest, eating more, working out less, and just following the plan, sticking to the plan. I will see you tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, ladies. Thank you so much. Thank you, Wendy. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, everybody on Facebook. I'll see you guys tomorrow. God bless you. Good night. Mwah, mwah. Bye.